G'day gamers, we are back with more Pathfinder Kingmaker. The Knights of the Arcane. Or the Knights Arcane, I think I'm calling it. Our playthrough with a party of Magi. Maguses, whatever you want to use the plural of Magus as. The main character is an Eldritch Scion, although we originally spec'd him as a plain Magus and changed our mind later. We've been changing our mind a lot in this. We have a Dwarven Magus, we have a human Sword Saint, and we have 2 Eldritch Archers. And g'day Saint Salvius, how you doing? And we are right outside the Kobold... Is it Kobold? Yeah, Kobold Dungeon at the Old Sycamore. And it feels like it's time to go in. Oh, we missed some stuff. Where did we miss that from? These spears aren't really worth taking, to be honest. But we'll take them. I think it's just easy enough to force the start of the combat straight away. Morn, can you charge down at that gatekeeper, please? Good, and a nice hit there. Lindsay, yeah, start that. Ember, yeah, we want the Flame Shaman dead ASAP. And we did it in one go. Brilliant. Gotta love Eldritch Archers. Yeah, can I charge up there to get any of these guys? I can't. That's really gonna hurt, because that means I've just got to casually trot up there. I mean, we are in a surprise round, so it won't be long before I can get a shot at them. It's a good hit there. Falcone, what about you? Can you charge? You can, but only at him. Well, not going to complain. And again, a shocking gasp from however long ago that didn't get off. Okay, Morn. Yeah, touch of fatigue is fine against him. Brilliant. Thank you, Morn. Lindsay. Take out the archer, please. Or take a shot at the archer anyway. Ember will finish it. Nice. Arcanus. Doesn't really matter who I go for here. And I missed. And Falcone will come in. G'day, Kiriki, I think that is. You watch all my Pathfinder videos, but you like more air than fire. You do a Magnus kinetic with lightning. So you're multi-classing a kinetic knight and a magus, are you? My strange little combination that I mentioned one time that might be useful. We've done that. Well, I hope you're having fun with it. And welcome to the stream. Okay, so we've got all of that there. Was there anything down here to find? Yes, there was. Very nice. Working well for you, is it? Will it work with lightning? So, with lightning, do you mean the kinetic knight combining fire and air, I think it is, to do the lightning? And then, so you're using a combined kinetic sword rather than just a single element. There's no reason why it wouldn't work if that's what you're talking about. It doesn't, as long as there's a, I'm pretty sure there is a feat or something that you can do that helps to reduce the cost of combining two elements. So I know early in the game, when you first get your second element, it costs so much focus that you have to draw focus first to be able to create anything with that combined element. But there is a feat that you can take that reduces that, or it's something that happens later on. If you're already at level 18 kinetic, I would have thought you already had that. So I haven't gotten that far on a kinetic knight, so I can't tell you definitively, but I would think lightning would work. So I hope that answers what you are asking. Man, getting hit by traps here. I know there's traps here, we're just not finding them. We finally found another one. I generally found with the kineticists that more often than not, I was a little bit disappointed by the combined elements. I tended to find that the single element blade or single element bolts that you throw were just as good, if not better, than the combined elements. But I guess that was because of the amount of focus it took to throw the combined ones, particularly early on. But I haven't seriously played with the Magus Kinetic Knight enough to see, what else you can do with it. Let's just make sure that we're facing the right direction for these spiders. And let's just attack. Morn. No, you can't charge. Is it worthwhile moving you forward? Yeah, it probably is. Can you charge? You can. But is it worthwhile? No, because now I can do this. Oh, no, I can't. How did that happen? Oh, we're in a surprise round. Yes. I should have looked. Lindsay. No, we don't need to do any of that. Ember. And Man. Random numbers are against us tonight. Okay. Morn, you're right there. You don't need... Well, we'll do 5-foot step just to be 100% sure. I don't feel we need to do anything special to take on these spiders. They're just spiders, for crying out loud. And that's a perfect example. But then again, he did crit and do 32 points of damage. So, yeah. Not going to complain about that. And the giant spider missed. And Ember... Yeah. Yeah, it's Sunday night here. You're living in the past. Right. Nothing to loot out of that stuff. There's plenty of stuff. Well, not plenty of stuff, but there is stuff to loot over here. Come back for that later. Okay, weapons. I really could not make up my mind for weapons for these guys. So Arcanus is using a Warhammer. Originally I was going to use a battle axe, because these are strength. Arcanus and Morn are strength build Maguses. Well, Eldritch Scion and Magus. But Falcone is a dex build, because I don't think it's feasible to do a strength build for a Sword Saint, because they have no armor. I originally got Arcanus a battle axe and thought this will be cool. But then I realized that we already had a Dwarven War Axe for Morn, because that's the best weapon for him. And so then I found a +1 longsword and used that for a little bit. But then it was time to pick a weapon for weapon focus. So I chose the Warhammer because it does bludgeoning damage, so that we can spread the damage a little bit. I didn't want to have, now we've got someone who's doing bludgeoning damage, basically. And out of all the bludgeoning weapons, it has the highest crit multiplier at ×3, even though its critical range is only 20. Morn, of course, is using his Dwarven War Axe because he can. And Falcone, as a Sword Saint, gets to pick any weapon he wants, including exotic weapons. And as long as it's one-handed, he can use it. And then we took Weapon Finesse and Slashing Grace. And Slashing Grace allows us to use any slashing weapon with Finesse. So I chose to use the Falcata, because it has a crit range of 19 to 20, but does triple damage. So we're getting a good crit range, but doing really good crit damage. Basically, it's a machete, this sword. And his build in particular is going to be very focused on crit. We're going to, as soon as we get any feats that allow us to improve his crit chance, we're going to do that, because that's really where the Sword Saint shines. And if we don't have anything new that we can take to do with crits, we're going to take something defensive. Dodge, toughness, anything to help, because while technically at the moment his AC is 21 because he has mage armor on, normally it's not that great. Although normally it's about 16 or 17, so it's about what Morn's chain is. So, yeah. So what are we up to? Arcanus here. Everyone's a little bit hurt, actually. I'm probably going to have to rest here soon. I think we'll just charge in. What's going on there? Oh, I had to wait. Did I? There we go. Good hit there. Nothing super special, but got us started. Oh, a nice crit there with the longbow, or the composite longbow from Larissa, one of our two Eldritch Archers. Ember, our other Eldritch Archer with a heavy crossbow that looks like a ray gun when she shoots out those frost bolts, which is exactly why I gave it to her. She can go pew pew. So nice of those spiders to be accommodating and come into range, because I didn't really want to take the chance that trying to get around that trap without triggering it would be possible. So that was nice. Can I 5-foot step? I can. Let's 5-foot step and take on that spider. And that's 2 down. Very good. Can we take out the other 2 from a distance without having to go past that trap? No, I guess not. But he's coming in for us. That's nice. Ember, help take out that one, please. Good hit. Nearly dead. Morn, you can 5-foot step. Hopefully. Yep. Very good. Almost dead. Lindsay, take the one in the back. Falcone, I'm going to skip you because there's too much chance that you're going to trigger that trap. We're all good. No, you're the only... Well, I've never tried it, but I don't think you're allowed to hit twice when casting shield. It only works for Magus, Sword Saint, and Eldritch Scion. It only works if you're using a a melee touch-based spell. So, one enemy within touch range, as it says there on the target. One enemy within touch range, one enemy within touch range. That's the only way that spell strike works. Whenever a mage casts a spell with a range of touch, he can deliver the spell through a weapon he is wielding as part of a melee attack. So instead of the free melee touch attack normally allowed to deliver the spell, the Magus can make one free melee attack with his weapon as part of casting the spell. So he can cast that and then he attacks as well. And it's similar for the Eldritch Archers, except it has to be a ranged touch spell rather than the melee touch. Okay. So basically any other spell that isn't one of those, either range touch or melee touch, will just be treated like a normal spell. was saying in my last stream, what I would really like to see, and it would be a fairly high level spell, but the reason I don't play mages very often is that everybody attacks the mage first, and the mage is not very survivable until they have cast shield and mage armor and protection from normal missiles and all of those spells, the various spell shields and all that sort of stuff. So the problem you've then got is, I know that my mage isn't very survivable. So what's my strategy? Do I just have my mage just nuke everything straight away, first round in battle, and just see if he can survive, or does he go and cast, protection spell after protection spell after protection spell, and then the battle's over before he can actually do anything? What I have seen in novels and things like that is an idea of a spell trigger. So you cast the trigger spell, and then you cast the spell that you want triggered. So in this case, shield, for example, and it doesn't actually cast the shield spell until you release the trigger spell, and the trigger spell can be released as a free action or whatever. And so the idea is that you go into combat and you untoggle the trigger spell, and it launches as a free action, so you don't actually have to do anything, you don't lose a turn, it just happens. Basically what I have read of in novels was this concept that at higher levels you can actually trigger multiple spells from the trigger spell. So you'd have this concept that a mage would go into battle, but they would have prepared before the battle by getting mage armor and shield and spell sphere and protection from normal missiles and protection from evil, and all those spells set up inside a trigger spell. And then as soon as the battle starts, they just break the trigger spell. It launches all those spells at once on him, and he's suddenly really protected, and he can then just start zapping out offensive spells without having to waste the entire battle getting well defended. I would like to see that sort of spell added to these games. It would make playing a mage a lot more fun for me, because it's always this toss-up. Do I spend my times protecting myself from the opponents that are there, or do I take do I just try and kill them quickly before they wipe me out? Because I know, I've said it before, every battle, oh look, there's the mage, kill him straight away. He's the first thing you aim at. And if there's multiple mages, you try and pick the one that's going to be the most devastating to you as quickly as possible. What do I think about the Slayer class? I'm not a fan, personally. The Slayer, in my opinion, is really not much more than a dual-classed rogue and ranger. I don't see why they made a class out of it when you could just dual class and basically get the same thing. I know there are a lot of people that love it because they see it as, part ranger, part rogue with the best of both. You get sneak attack, all those other things. You get all the weapon feats that the combat styles that the ranger gets, blah blah blah. I just think it's as we say in Australia, it's a bit of a mongrel. It's a weird, strange combination that it doesn't do anything for me. I'd rather play a rogue or a ranger. Or if I was really that desperate to get both of them, I'd dual class and do it that way. It's nothing new and unique to me is the thing. You could just dual class and get it. You could say the same about the Magus, but you can't really dual class and get that ability with the Magus to cast spells through your weapon, right? That's the thing that I like about the Magus. You know, the thing I like about the kineticist is it's a new way of doing damage from a distance. The kineticist actually reminds me a lot of the early warlock. So if you ever played Neverwinter Nights 2, there was a warlock in that you could play. And the kineticist reminds me a lot of that warlock. I think I've mentioned that in other videos. And yes, we're in surprise, so I can't actually do that attack. So yeah, not a fan of the Slayer, but I know there's a lot of people that absolutely love it. Why am I shooting at him when I should be shooting at the one in the back? Because we've got 3 fighters, or 3 melee guys there, ready to take on those 2 spiders. We should be shooting at the ones in the back. You can take out that spider, thank you, Lindsay. Ooh, there's an unknown. Is there another spider sneaking up on us from behind? No. I don't recall there being unknowns. And a nice touch of fatigue there. And we're down. You know, even the Inquisitor, which was a new class for me, I'd never seen an Inquisitor before this game comes out. Even that is actually something new, because it's a class that's primarily designed around the teamwork feats. And, you know, helping to use those more effectively. So I like that, but to me, the Slayer is nothing new. You know, the Alchemist is something new, although I'm not really a fan of that either. Yeah. Enough said. I find the Inquisitor a little complex as well. But I guess the thing I have against the Inquisitor is I'm not a religious person. And so I tend, not, with the exception of Rangers, and I'll explain that in a minute, I tend not to play what is it? It's not Arcane, it's the other one. I'm thinking Celestial, but that's not the word I'm thinking of either. I tend not to play, you know, the religious types, clerics, paladins, and Inquisitor is another one of those. And it's a silly thing, really, because, you know, I can see that clerics have always been incredibly powerful as a class, and, you know, so many games that you can solo as a cleric because you can heal yourself and things like that. But yeah, the Inquisitor is a little bit complex as well, just to do with its banes and all of those types of things. Wrapping your head around it and trying to work out what to do with a lot of that stuff. But when I was looking at it for my tutorial videos, the thing that I felt that was the main thing that you need to concentrate on is the teamwork, because the Inquisitor allows you to really easily get a team using the teamwork feats well, because they get so many of the teamwork feats easily. And so, you know, if you want... Yeah, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but that was what I saw as the big advantage of them, was the teamwork feats. And I think, overall, I mean, I'm probably going to take some teamwork feats in this party if I can find the gap to take some teamwork feats. In particular, I can't remember the name of it, but the teamwork feat that allows you to get extra damage, like basically a sneak attack when flanking. You know, those sorts of things, they're great. And, you know, I got 3 guys here doing melee, if they all get that, they're going to do just that little bit more damage when they're all fighting the same target. And I tend to do that because my play style is focus on one opponent at a time where possible and take them out. The only times that I tend to spread out and give each of my melee guys, outflank, thank you. The only time I tend to spread out and give each of my guys, in particular each of my melee guys, separate targets is if I know that they are going to surround or come around my guys and attack the back row. So if we were up against a group of, say, 20 opponents, they were all fairly small, but I didn't want to take the chance that they got past my melee guys and got to my archers in the back, then I would spread my melee guys out. Otherwise, I will, at least for harder targets, these are kobolds, these are nothing, I'll just take them on one-on-one. But for harder targets, I like to concentrate and have all of my guys attacking the one target where possible. In particular, you find the biggest, baddest guy and take him out first. It's almost prison yard rules, isn't it? You see that from movies where you find the toughest guy in the place and hit him so that you can assert your dominance type of thing. Can I charge? I can. Let's charge. I should have charged at the Bone Shaman or the Alchemist. Ah, boy. Okay. And I bet you can't charge, can you? You can. Take out the Shaman, please, or charge at the Shaman. Good. And then Falcone, can you charge? No, charge at the Alchemist. You can. Wonderful. Shaman's coming up. He's probably going to do a Frighten or something like that. Yeah, cause fear. And we saved successfully. So that was good. Larissa, I think, well, actually, the Alchemist is up next. So he's the more important target at the moment. If we can take him out, there we go, then we don't have too much to worry about. Lindsay, Shaman, please. He's our next toughest opponent. Ember, again. Thank you. He's gone now. Let's just mop it up. I really wish, and I've said this before, but with the Magus, I really wish there was a cantrip that did touch ranged attacks like there is with the so you've got Ray of Frost and Acid Splash, which are both ranged attacks, but the only touch-based attack is Touch of Fatigue. It just seems unfair that there is no damaging spell that a Magus can use with their damaging cantrip that the Magus can use with their spell strike. I mean, I don't care if it does just 1 to 3 damage. Being able to chuck in, some sort of little damage thing. I did look at, there is an add-on to the game that I downloaded, not an add-on, a mod to the game which I downloaded called Call of the Wild. And it adds a whole bunch of new classes and all this sort of stuff, but I think it adds a whole bunch of new spells, including some cantrips. The problem was it bugs out, and I went to start this character as a test before I started the actual stream a couple of days ago, and I had that mod running, and I went and was just about to start the character, and at the build screen, it only gave me 1 skill point rather than the 3 or 4 that I would normally have had. So I'm like, I can't use that. That's going to completely cripple me. Every other Magus build that I've done has had several. So I was really looking forward. Maybe I shouldn't have upgraded that module. Maybe that was the problem. I should have used the previous version of the module. I might play around with it tomorrow before the stream, and if it's possible, I might turn it on because I'd love to be able to have just a simple little damaging ranged touch attack, touch melee attack spell, whatever you want to call it, that I can use for my Maguses to just augment their damage a little bit. Because it's not fair. The Eldritch Archer gets it and we don't. One of the reasons why I love the Eldritch Archer so much. They just completely kick butt. They do so much damage. Okay. I think we're going to move back here just a little bit. Just so that we don't get interrupted. And then we are going to... Wow, we're getting really low on healing potions. I mean, I know I'm carrying some, but... man, you don't have much in the way of... stuff there either. I gotta get you a chain shirt. Why don't you have a chain shirt yet? You don't either. Man, I gotta get some more chain shirts. You've got that and that. That's good. Actually, I should give that to him just for a bit more protection as well. What am I doing? I'm trying to heal. Lindsay. We've only got 4 first level spells, but we're not really using anything but heal at the moment, so let's... I forgot about... Yeah, that's good enough. The backline aren't going to get attacked very much, hopefully. Okay, we may have to rest soon, because we are running a bit low on some spells and stuff, but we're not doing too bad. Larissa, that's some terrible shooting there, Larissa. Like, really, that is... Oh, boy. I really want that shaman dead, please. Oops, we may have just aggroed the kobold. Alchemist as well. I don't see it in the list. We might be lucky. Shaman, please, Ember. Terrible shooting. And we saved against fear. Wonderful. Man, we're not having much luck with that shaman at the moment. Let's take out this sentinel. We missed there. Morn, you can do it. Well, you did a good job. You didn't get all the way through, but you did okay. Miss after miss after miss. Falcone. So many things here. I want to zoom in a little bit. So we're taking a little bit of damage. Let's do that. He doesn't have enough spells left to do anything except Touch of Fatigue, although we do have that. No, look, it's almost dead. Don't worry about using a spell on it. And then you miss twice. Even with the Arcane Weapon Enhancement, you still miss twice. And of course, I've got the Fragilist of... Although he's actually quite good at the moment with his mage armor. But he's our glass cannon, and I've got him in there. How silly of me. Okay, the Alchemist is going to come over here soon, so we have to get rid of that sentinel and get our other 2 fighters, or other 2 magi up there to support Falcone. Good. That frees up our guys to get in there. Can you charge from there? Who's that? That's Arcanus. Let's get you up around that side. And Morn can take the other flank. Morn. Let me guess. Oh, you can charge. I was probably thinking you wouldn't be able to. Okay. Larissa. You're not going to be able to get that Alchemist from there, are you? No, there's no Eldritch Blast per se in this. Not like the Warlocks have in D&D. I just want a little touch-based cantrip, like Shocking Grasp. Just one that you touch and, you know, it does some damage. It doesn't have to be, you know, it only has to do, you know, 1d3, 1d4 damage like the other ones do. That's all I want. I don't want much, but because at the moment, when the Eldritch Archers shoot, they get a little bit of extra damage on every round. One of those shots gets a little bit of extra damage, but all I can do is touch a fatigue for these guys, so they can't do any extra damage, but they might fatigue the target, or the target might make their save. I would like there to be just a little damaging one. Doesn't have to be a lot, just something to boost that a little bit. I've done in one of my, which you've probably seen in one of my videos on YouTube, I did a comparison of how much damage an Eldritch Archer can do at high levels compared to, say, a Fighter Spectre's Archer. And the spells that you can add in at higher levels just blow it all away. And it would be the same with the Magus. They would probably do more damage than a fighter would with a weapon. But the big problem is there doesn't seem to be as many range touch attacks. They're all, you know, they're all missile attacks. They're all distance spells. And so the Eldritch Archer has a real advantage. It would be interesting if there was a Warlock in this game, but I have to say I preferred the Warlock from D&D 3.5, which was Neverwinter Nights, than the new ones. The new ones, those Warlocks, they're much more just like arcane spellcasters, wizards or sorcerers. There's really not a lot of difference. Whereas they were quite different previously. Like if I am fairly certain from what I have seen that there is going to be a Warlock class in Baldur's Gate 3. I doubt I will play it. I mean, I probably will muck around with it and do some videos on it and, you know, explaining what I think about it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the Warlock in Neverwinter Nights 2 is ridiculously OP, and I love it. It was a great class to play around with. Not melee, though, only ranged. I do want to play around at one point and build a melee Warlock, but they just didn't. It didn't do much for me when I tried it the first time. But yeah, definitely OP. No doubt about it. Right. We got another. I can't remember if there's other kobolds up there. I think there's another couple of kobolds up that way. Let's hope they don't come down. Arcanus. I don't think we need to worry. We don't have any problems here. Let's just swing away. There we go. Morn, take this guy from... I was going to say from behind, but that didn't sound right. Yeah, I haven't decided what I'm going to do with Baldur's Gate 3. I think I want to have a look at what classes are available, and if there's anything that's unique and exciting, something different, like the Magus here. Like if there's a Magus available, I'll be all in. I'll take it straight away. If there's a Kineticist available, I'll take it. But I doubt there will be, because those are more Pathfinder things than Forgotten Realms. But I have been thinking about trying to do something different, and either a straight fighter, maybe even a sword and board, so sword and shield fighter, or maybe a sorcerer or a wizard or something like that. Even though I've said that I find them really hard to play, blah blah blah. I've been thinking about trying to branch out and do something different. But then again, I like rangers, so I may change my mind and just play a ranger. Because at least I know what I'm doing with a ranger. Ouch. Just when I was going to make an effort to try and get in that alchemist's face, he has to breathe fire on me. Yeah, I should be fine. Rightio. You can move to there. Yeah, pretty much knew that was going to happen. I really should have got him to take a potion rather than charging in. Why did I only get a single attack there? I've noticed it does that sometimes. I don't know whether it's a bug in the game in general, or if it's a bug in the turn-based combat mod, or what it is. But I've noticed every now and then it happens that I only get one attack per round rather than the two that I should be getting. I suspect it's something to do with the situation where because the spell doesn't fire until they actually land a hit, as I mentioned earlier. Or was that in the last stream? I don't remember. This is the second time I've streamed today. And it's all blurring into one. Oh, look, I missed that. Let's level these guys up. Magus level 3, or Eldritch Archer level 3. And precise shot is more important. And I think for you, arcane accuracy. And then these spells don't matter because we're never going to use them. So I'll just do those two. Let's make sure you've got your new spell memorized. It's just going to be another one of those because they are the only thing useful to an Eldritch Archer. I streamed this earlier. Another couple of hours of this. It'll be up on YouTube by now. Let's use the old cure moderate wounds. There we go. He's back to being good. Body back here. What did we get? Actually, I just realized I'm silly. A new strategy I should be using. At the end of fights, I shouldn't be picking up any of these bodies. Well, I should have a quick look and see if there's anything I really, really want, you know, magical items and stuff, and then I should just leave the rest, and it's only when I'm leaving the dungeon that I should go, yep, I'll have that. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. And then... Are you going to be able to charge in more? You are. Let's get that going, and you can take on that Flame Shaman and kill him with a single hit. A lovely crit for 30 points of damage. That's why I love Dwarven War Axes. Okay, Larissa, help us with that Shaman. I would go for other guys, but this is the most important enemy to kill. How do you get Meteor as a ranger? Was that a ranger spell in Baldur's Gate? I don't remember it. Let's take that, and you can charge at him. And you can also charge at him. Okay. Lovely crit there. That works pretty well. Okay, is there anything I want on these bodies right now? The healing scrolls, maybe? The rest can wait. And I'll pick them up later. Okay, nothing to do there. I do sort of feel like maybe I should rest here. I don't usually like resting down in this dungeon, but... Or camp, I mean, because you've got to make sure you've got enough camping supplies. Still not back to full health, but not too bad. Where are we going? This way. Okay, that didn't work. He had to move a fraction of an inch. So let's just all wait. No, that's all right. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. Frozen spider. Not something you see every day. No, that's all right. Don't worry about it. I have trouble remembering stuff from Baldur's Gate as well because I played so much of it when it first came out, and quite frankly, once the enhanced edition came out, it felt almost like a completely new game. All the extra classes and subclasses and the rangers had changed quite a bit because they were now sort of more like the new version of the ranger rather than the old version of the ranger. I get confused half the time with what was available in the game as opposed to what is now available in the game and all that sort of stuff. So don't sweat it. It's no big deal. Good hit on the Alchemist. And Lindsay. Oh, It wasn't a great hit, but I suppose anything's better than nothing. Good. And then can you charge in as well? You can. And you missed. Morn. How do I want to do this fight? I think I need you with mage armor on. How long does that lead blades last? 1 minute per level. I think all of our guys should mage armor up. And then if we cast lead blades, no. There we go. Let's quick save that. Can I get you through there and over to there? We can. Very nice. Can't see anybody over there yet. Take a shot at that Alchemist. Very nice. That's what I want to see. Morn, can I get you over there? No. Well, I can on your next go. Well, yeah, I should have not clicked actually on him, should I? Can you get through there to there? Very good. Oh, I should have gone to the Alchemist again. Oh, well. Yeah, there's Jathal going about trying to attack. Yeah, that's alright, Kiro. I understand it's not your first language. You're doing better than some people that speak English as their first language, so I have good expectations about Baldur's Gate 3, but I'm trying not to like watch too much stuff and see. I want to be surprised by it mostly is where I'm going. I want to just wait and see what it's going to be like, which was a little bit what it was for me with Pathfinder. So I don't want to have too many expectations and then go in and start feeling really disappointed because it didn't meet up with what I expected. Okay, I can't charge, so I'm just going to come over there and beat you to death. And the same with Falcone. And we all missed. No, Fireball doesn't work with the Eldritch Archer. And actually, I kind of like the fact that it doesn't, to be honest. Because in other games, for example, Neverwinter Nights 1 and 2, there was an Eldritch Archer option, or an Arcane Archer, or whatever they called it. And all it really was that, yeah, after a while you could cast a fireball with, you know, you could enchant your arrows to make them magical so that they would, you know, be magical arrows and hit a little bit better and do 1 extra point damage, or eventually you could cast a fireball with them, and that was sort of it. That was all you could really do. The spell that works really good with these guys, with these Eldritch Archers, is actually, do we have any of them? No. What's it called? Damn it. Scorching Ray. Yeah, Scorching Ray. Thank you, Alex. Scorching Ray works really well. And then there's a Hellfire Ray as well, which is the more advanced version of the Scorching Ray. And both of those work really well with the Eldritch Archer. You fire a Scorching Ray at someone with your bow and you can absolutely wreck them. It doesn't guarantee that every ray hits them, but when it does, it just absolutely wrecks. Okay, we got to quickly get these guys out so that we can get up here and take out the chief. Again, I only get 1 swing rather than 2. Ooh, that's not good. Ember's got to start taking on these guys, I think. Well done, Ember. Morn, can you please take out that sentinel? Thank you. You can't move very far, but we'll get you to at least start moving from there. Larissa, help out with these guys, because they're being pains in the butt. No? Okay, yes you did. Good. Okay, Chief Soot Skell. Yeah, the Eldritch Archer just has way more damage options than the Magus or the Eldritch Scion, because there are way more spells that are designed to be cast at something in a distance. Any spell that automatically hits what you aim it at, which is what the fireball does and what the magic missile does, can't be used by the Eldritch Archer. It's only spells that have to be aimed and that can miss. They're the ones that can be used by the Eldritch Archer. So, Snowball, There's a like a molten globe one. There's the Scorching Rays. There's a couple of others. I can't think what they are. There's not actually that many spells. There's only about 5 or 6 spells all up that can be used, which is why you will see that when I build these guys, and when probably most other people build them as well, they really only ever learn a handful of spells. They'll know a lot, but day to day they'll only use a handful, because most of the other ones are really just, they don't help you all that much at all. The other game that I am looking forward to having come soon is, what's it called? Solister, Crown of the Magister. I played the demo of that just recently, and it's based on the D&D 5 rules, and I really like it. There's a couple of things that they've done really well in that. One of them is this idea that things like detect magic or identify, they are not like instant spells. They're instead a ritual that you have to perform. So the ritual takes you like 15 minutes, and at the end of it, you can detect all the magical items within a certain distance. And why that's really good is because you don't have to have one of your characters memorize, detect magic, and identify like you used to have to in all the old games. You know, you'd always have to have one mage who had detect magic and identify, so that you could identify any items that you found, and you could detect if they were magic and all that type of stuff. Well, now you can do it anytime you want, but you have to be aware that it's going to take 15 minutes to do it. So you can't do it in combat. You can't do it in an area where it's not safe. But if it's a safe area, then you can do one of those rituals anytime you want. And I like that idea. And there's actually, I can't think of them right off the top of my head, but I was sitting down and just trying to think the other day of what other spells could be used as rituals rather than spells. Something where you have to, so knock, for example, to open a door. Excuse me, the knock spell to open a door. That could be a ritual rather than a spell. So you don't have to memorize it for the day, but you go through the ritual. It takes you 15 minutes. You set everything up. You do all the chants. You do all the motions or whatever. And at the end of it, click, click, the door unlocks. But you can't do it if there's danger around. Or the DM, if you're playing it in, a pen and paper style game, the DM could decide that halfway through that ritual, the monsters on the other side of that locked door open the door and attack. So, yeah. But I'm looking forward to Magister whenever it comes out. I don't know when it'll be coming out. They say, I think, that it'll just be coming when it's done. And that's fine. I can understand that. Okay, Ember, this is not good. You are getting pummeled here. I'm going to drink that. Ooh, I want to move that over to there. That potion really didn't do you much good, did it? Okay. Take a shot. Morn. Get up there. We need some more people up there. Larissa. Let's just keep pounding away at these archers. Not doing too well at them, though. Jathal's probably going to die any minute. Yeah, she's almost down, and she's hardly done any damage to the chief. Cure moderate wounds on Ember, please. Thank you. Ember's back in the battle, and we're all good. Can you charge for... You can. Missed. That's all right. Oh, good hit. Very nice. What are the archers doing? A few more hits on Ember. Come on, Ember. Pick up your game. Take these guys down. Very nice. One more. Well done. Morn. Actually. Oh, yeah, you found something. That's nice, Morn. That's really nice. I'm glad you found something, but I really want you to... No, the other way. To get up here right next to the chief. So that you can attack him next turn. Very good. Larissa. One more archer, please. I don't know. I've not seen... I'm not sure how you recharge. Are you talking in Pathfinder, or are you talking in another game where you recharge the wands and magic lantern? I don't know about magic lanterns. There's 2 lanterns in this game that I've got. I've got them on my 2 Eldritch Archers. They're carrying lanterns, and they don't need to be recharged. I think there is a recharge mechanic for wands. I don't know. I know there was in Neverwinter Nights 1 and 2. But I'm not sure in this one. When my wands are done, I throw them away, usually. Actually, I end up usually selling them before they're done. Larissa, you've had your turn. Okay, Lindsay. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what you do, or if you even can recharge a wand. Now that I think about it. Okay, time to have some fun. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's bring the thunder. Down goes the chief. No, I'm going to finish him. I know it's not a very lawful good thing to do, but that doesn't matter. We're going to do it anyway. Ember. Ember's doing all the work back here. Morn. Well done. Oh, Morn finishes up. And then maybe Larissa can take out this guy. So we definitely want that and that right now. That's, yeah, Masterwork Light Max. We don't want that. What have we got there? A couple of potions. Some gooey stuff in a bag. Does he have anything interesting? No, we'll pick that up later. Let's go around this way. What's in that bag? 121. Look around there, and we come around here. Oh, what did we just find? That. Yep. And then we talk to Jathor and let her go off. Okay. No, you don't talk too much. Not at all. It's nice to have some conversation in the channel. Makes it feel like I'm not just talking to myself. Okay. Yeah, let's head out. Get ready to do the might side of things. Okay, what do we want? Coins, simple weapons that don't weigh too much. Westland game. Wasteland. No, I haven't. I've thought about it, but I haven't played them, no. I thought about buying them, I mean. No, nothing I want there. Yeah, okay, this is going to be fun. Yeah, I think I would too. I don't know. There's just so many games like that. And I mean, not like Wasteland 2 specifically, but just so many games that I think I would like. And you know what I'm like, I never finish anything, so I get annoyed that I start playing things and don't finish them. So I get reluctant to buy them because it's like, I bought all these games and I haven't finished them. I shouldn't be buying any more. And then people on the channel get upset because I haven't finished them. A skill called toaster repair. Can you charge in, Morn? Yeah. Hit him. Thank you. I wish that could actually interrupt the spell, because he's about to cast a whole person on one of us. And I really don't want to allow him to do that. I want to make sure that he is unable to use that spell. And the only way I've got to do that is to kill him. Which isn't a bad thing, but if I manage to miss like that, there's no way to actually interrupt the spell. Except through a, like that, an attack of opportunity. So I guess that is a way to do it. Did I like the Wizard Slayer in Baldur's Gate? Not really. I haven't played it seriously. I mucked around with it. I don't know. It's the same thing as the Slayer class here. Some of the new subclasses or kits in the enhanced version of Baldur's Gate are just a little bit, like, to me, the difference between a wizard and a witch and a shaman. Like, a shaman's a little bit different, I guess, but a shaman's just another type of cleric. A witch is just another type of arcane spellcaster. You know, it's some of these classes, and it's fine. People want to come up with their own ideas. They want to play an actual, witch, and yeah, sure, they put in hexes rather than, spells and stuff like that. But some of the classes that some of the ideas for classes that people come up with, it's just, well, that's just a wizard that you play a little bit differently to normal. Some of the fighter subtypes and stuff like that, it's just a fighter, play it. That's why I'm not really a big fan. I know this is a bit weird, but I'm not really a big fan of the barbarian class. I can sort of understand it, but once upon a time, all the stuff that the barbarian can do is something that you could do as a fighter. Anyway, it was just how you built the fighter, sort of thing. I mean, you can say that for most classes, because if you go way back to when I first was doing D&D, the only classes that existed, at least in the original basic edition D&D, fighter, wizard, thief, because they were called thieves in those days, not rogues, and cleric. That was all you had. And if you wanted to build a paladin, for example, well, that was a fighter who, acted in a certain way. Didn't have any of the special abilities that the cleric had, or he was a cleric, but he just, he acted in a certain way. A ranger, in the early days, a ranger was just a fighter who usually spec'd into archery type of thing, and decided he was going to, be an outdoorsy type of guy rather than a knight who sat in a castle. So yeah, a lot of the classes that people come up with these days are just very derivative, and they just don't. I mean, it's great. They see I see Harry Potter and I want to play a Harry Potter style character, so let's build a whole new class around that. And that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of the Wizard Slayer. The Kenzai sounded interesting in the enhanced Baldur's Gate, but it's impossible to play because you have no armor. Sure, once you get going, that character can just do so much damage, it's unbelievable. But to survive the first couple of chapters of the game is just, like, ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it extended the life of the game because people who played it and got all the way through it playing one certain character, now they've got all these other characters that they can play. But I looked at a lot of them and just went, no, I'll never play that, I'll never play that, I'll never play that. Doesn't interest me. So, anyway. God, so many little guys here. Who do I want to take out first? Might. Oh, okay, there's none of the hard mites left. That's fine. We'll just take out that one and then that one. Good on you, Morn. Always guarantee Morn's gonna slay them. Alrighty. Yeah, won't bother picking up any of that for the moment. Let's keep going. I don't know. The Wizard Slayer, to me, all it was a fighter who, you know, give him a ring of magic resistance that slowly gets better over time. And he has a mantra, a way of life where he decides that he's not going to use any magical items apart from that one ring. And you've got a Wizard Slayer. Like, I don't know. It's something new, but I don't know. I suppose as far as the game goes, you can't just in the game say, okay, well, I'm now going to spawn myself a ring of magic resistance that slowly gets better over time and all that sort of stuff. So if you want to play that character, sure, you need to have a class to do it, but it's an extremely limiting class. I suppose it's the challenge factor to the game. Like the other thing that I've never done in Baldur's Gate, right, or really any game, but it seems to be this standard mechanic now, and I personally don't understand it. It just doesn't mesh with my worldview. Is you can play as an evil character, and I have no intention of playing as an evil character. I don't want to go around because I can't picture the world like that. What would I do? Am I supposed to go around and just kill absolutely everybody in the game? Everybody that I see, I should kill? I mean, how do I play an evil character? I don't get it. I don't understand it. So it's one of those mechanics of the game that I never do. And some classes are like that as well. I can't. I'm not a religious person, so I don't like playing clerics. Druids. It's interesting. Before I played Neverwinter Nights for the first time, because I only got it a few years ago. Well, probably 4 or 5 years ago now, but I only got it a few years ago, and so it had been out for a long time by the time I got around to buying it. And I watched someone else who played it, and he played as a druid. And, you know, the druid got an animal companion at level 1, and they could shapeshift, and, you know, they could wear at least some armor. They could use a scimitar. So he had this, I think he had a half-orc druid who had a bear companion wielding a scimitar, small shield, and, you know, he can cast spells as well. And I just look at it and go, how OP can you get? You know, and within a couple of levels, he could shape change into an animal as well. And I'm just sitting there going, there's got to be no challenge in that. So I just don't. I'm not a big person to play some classes because I just can't get them. I don't like them. Yeah, I'm the same, Saint Salvius. I can't play the evil characters, and it doesn't even seem like it would be fun to me to try and roleplay it, because I don't understand, you know, evil in some ways is a weird concept, because, you know, some of the characters in this game are evil. You know, Regnar is evil. Jathal, who we just rescued, is evil. But they don't act evil. In this game, they seem to cross and say, well, evil is selfish. That's all it is. They're someone who thinks only of themselves, so that's evil. And it's like, no, that's not. Right? Like, evil is evil. You know, evil people, like, torture people and kill on whim and all that type of stuff. You know, but I think in this game, you know, if you kill somebody on whim, you're chaotic evil, whereas lawful evil probably, you know, maybe they don't. I don't know, but yeah, I don't get the whole playing as evil. To me, these games are about being the hero, not the anti-hero. And I don't see how the anti-hero can accomplish anything. Somehow they're accomplishing something heroic by not being heroic. I don't know. Like you know, everyone's favorite movie, Deadpool. He's supposed to be an anti-hero. Well, he's not. He's a hero. He wants to be a hero. You know, he just doesn't always want to play by the rules. That's all. I don't see Deadpool. Deadpool's more chaotic good, or maybe chaotic neutral to me, not, you know, evil in any way. Yeah, you know, if you're playing evil characters, it's a murder hobo type thing. Like I've mentioned it plenty of times while I'm streaming or in my YouTube videos. I think there should be way more consequences in all these games for looting. If you're in town and you're going through somebody's house, that's not right. You know, but most of these games, it's expected of you. I really, you know, some games bring in elements of it. You know, you've got Pillars of Eternity. There are some things that are locked, and they've got the little mask icon, so that if you were to open that, you know, you would be accused of thievery. Well, why not everything in towns? I can understand a bit more in these sorts of situations. This is a monster camp. You're clearing these evil creatures out so that they're not going to be a problem, and you're taking the loot from them, or someone attacks you and you loot the body afterwards. I understand all of that, but walking through a town and going through every barrel and box that you find and picking up stuff, that should never have been part of any of these sorts of games, and it always is. And if you're playing a tabletop role-playing campaign, you would never be allowed to just walk into everybody's house and search through all the stuff. The DM would never allow it, and yet in the computer role-playing games, that's the way you find half your equipment, is just by walking around some stranger's building and going through all the stuff. It's just insane. And I wish there were more games where there were consequences. And I keep telling myself that I'm going to do a playthrough where I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go and search every barrel and box and everything that I find. I'm only going to use equipment that I loot off bodies. Yes, exactly, Alex. You know, like in the prologue of this, where you're going through the keep, trying to help rescue it, and you're looting stuff left and right out of every single room, and then you go to the armory and you grab every weapon and piece of armor that you can, but you don't take the 800 gold that was you know, it's like, why not? You've taken everything else. In fact, you've taken stuff that's technically worth more than that 800 gold that's sitting in that locked chest. Right? But, oh no, you don't take that. That's not right. That belongs to the Baron or whatever. You know, no, come on. You know, these games shouldn't be made this way. There should be way more consequences. And I'm going to start doing it. I'm going to start not looting everything in sight in these playthroughs, I think, because it's just not right. I'm not saying that this contributes to the delinquency of, you know, of youth in our society, and that because they play these games where they go and loot everything in sight, that they're going to go and steal everything. I'm not making any of that stuff. Most people understand the difference between reality and fantasy, and I know this is fantasy, but, you know, give us a little bit of reality, because if we were playing, as I said, if we were playing this in a tabletop environment, the DM would not allow you to do this stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, end rant, as I often say. Damn it. clicking that by mistake. It's Alt-E, not just E. Can you charge? Good, you can. Let's just kill this last guy. Because this is taking way too long because I'm ranting about things again. Yeah, that's fine. Good. Nothing I want to pick up just yet. What was that? No, don't want to pick up any of that yet either. Ranting is a good thing. Yeah, tell my ex-wife that. No, I shouldn't be that. She'd never really complain about me ranting. What was I going to say? Yeah, I've done this. I've mentioned this story before, but it always cracks me up watching another YouTuber by the name of Gamer Darius playing a bunch of games, and he was playing this one that was set in Forgotten Realms, and it was in some dwarven keep, in the side of a mountain somewhere. And you're running around in these dwarven halls, and you're just smashing apart all of these barrels and taking all the stuff in them. There was gold and potions and gems and stuff. And then you come across this guy a little bit later on, this dwarf, and you talk to him, and it turns out he's the dwarven barrel maker. And he's complaining that he has to make, he's been up for the last couple of days making barrels because someone's been going around and smashing every barrel in the dwarven hold. And I just laughed at that because that's the mentality that they put in these games. They make you do it, and then they make fun of it by saying, well, the barrel maker's not all that happy because you've just been destroying every single barrel in sight. So more mites. I wonder who came up with the idea that mites hop everywhere rather than walk or run. It's very weird. And quite frankly, it looks weird to me because I'm used to seeing something that hops like that having a big tail out behind it. It feels like it shouldn't be able to hop that well without a tail. Are we in the surprise round? We're not. We're in round 1. Beautiful. I can just do that. And charge in, and then do that. Smack. Well done. Okay, yeah, that's the other weird thing. Yeah, where was the wolf carrying that greatsword? Where was the wolf carrying the 12 gold pieces even? Okay, maybe small things, they might have swallowed it and you've just gutted them and found it. Sure, I can get that. But yeah, you're right. A lot of the cases where you see them carrying something ridiculous, that how the hell did they, why are they carrying that? But as I've said, it's all fantasy and I can accept that. But I think some things like just, not allowing you to just open every house and every box and search through it all and find whatever you want and take it. At least in houses and places where they're actually occupied, There should be much more. And I know that's in games like Skyrim, for example. There's much more stuff on that where, there's just so much stuff in there that you can't loot it because you're being watched type of thing. And sure, I get that, but yeah. That was a little disappointing. A critical miss. Come on. Nice hit, Morn. I can always rely on Morn to get a hit. Doesn't always do huge amounts of damage, but he hits a lot. It's a little disappointing he doesn't always do huge amounts of damage, because he is using one of the best weapons in the game, the Dwarven War Axe. What do we got here? Anything interesting? No. Just make sure we uncover all the map. If you roll a 1, do you mean can you die? A 1 is considered a critical miss. I'm not sure quite what you're asking, but here's the thing. I haven't played tabletop D&D in a long time. I played it as a teenager, so that's how long ago that was. And I've DM'd. I'm not a good DM, but I have DM'd. If you've got a good DM, though, they get that balance between a good story and a fun adventure. And so there can be times when characters die, and, you know, you don't want to fudge the rolls and all that sort of stuff because, you know, it's important. But a lot of DMs will fudge rolls, basically. They'll say, well, he missed, when in fact he hit, because he knows that if the monster hit you, you'd be dead, type of thing. Particularly in early adventures. But it comes down to each individual DM and what they're trying to do with the story. Because, you know, nobody likes an adventure where you know, everyone starts, they're all first level, you go in, you think, yep, everything's fine, and the first encounter you have, the entire party gets killed. Right? That's not fun for anybody. So as a DM, you sort of go, okay, well, that's not going to work. Maybe this is too hard for these guys. Maybe we need to do something else. You know. So I'm not sure if that's answered your question, but I'm probably also not the best person to answer because, as I said, I haven't played some of those games in nearly 30 years, so not actual tabletop anyway. See, the idea of the critical miss, maybe this is helping with the understanding. Critical miss just means that there was no way it can hit. It doesn't It doesn't affect you in any way. It doesn't provide any negative to you. It's just a way of saying that, you know, I suppose if you were trying to have a bit of fun and, you know, put a bit of a laugh into the game, you could do things like, if you get a critical miss, you know, you could role play that your character, you know, the DM could say, well, your character missed so badly he fell over and sprained his leg while he was trying to attack, you know, and it wouldn't necessarily kill you or anything like that, but, you know, you could do something like that in the game just to sort of point out that, okay, well, that miss was so bad. Like, the fact of the matter is, very few DMs, unless they want to tell, you know, as I said before, unless they want it to be part of the story, when you think about it, you go into combat, the chances of losing a hand, an arm, you know, an ear, a nose, you're swinging around sharp bits of metal. Why they don't have that, you know, after the first battle, you're a pretty, you know, you can role play it whatever you want, but in D&D terms, you know, in role playing terms, when you're level 1, you're pretty much a complete noob, right? You're not much better than a kid holding a stick in his hand, waving it back and forth and pretending that's a sword, right? So if you went into battle and did something like that, you could lop your hand off, or, you know, someone attacking you could lop a limb off, but you don't often add that into the role-playing games. There's no, you know, they don't often do any of that. People don't lose eyes, arms, legs, all that sort of stuff, when in reality they should. In an athletics check, I don't know. Like, there is, in this game, there is definitely, if there's an athletics check to climb up onto the top here, for example, and we fail that, then we all do take a little bit of damage. So I think that's what you're pointing out. There is that built into this game. It really depends on the DM. You could die. And it doesn't necessarily matter how bad you roll. The DM could decide, if the athletics check is you're walking along the rim of a volcano, the DM could decide that even if you fail your saving throw by any amount, you fall in and die. You know, because why the hell are you walking along the edge of a volcano? You know, because it's a silly thing to do. You know, or, you know, you're flying along on the back of a dragon and you decide you want to walk out onto the wing. And so you roll an athletics check and the DM goes, well, you're an idiot for doing this. You fall to your death. No matter how much you fail, doesn't matter whether you roll a 1 or you roll a 19. You know, if that still fails the check, they may decide that kills you. It depends on how stupid you're being in some cases. I think in general, if it's, you know, just a normal sort of thing and you fail a saving throw and even if you roll a 1, the DM's not necessarily going to say, well, that kills you. They might say if you roll a 1 on an athletics check that you're definitely going to take some damage. You know, but they'll probably not make it kill you, though. They may fudge the roll and say, well, you took, you know, 50% of your health or whatever. You can revive and chop down a dragon with a level 5 spell. Into the guy, but hey, regenerate one arm of one dude who lost it. Yeah, well, there is that. In these games, you do have the magic to... well, they mention it in this game. When you finally meet up with... I almost had his name there for a second. The gnome who writes all the books in this. When you finally meet up with him and you go and talk to him, you ask him why he's wearing glasses, because there are spells that you can use to correct your vision. And he basically says, well, I'm just a pretentious git and I like wearing glasses, so I do that rather than use the spell. It's pretty much the same thing existed in Star Trek. one of the early Star Trek movies with Kirk in it, and they make a joke about the fact that he has to pull out reading glasses to read something, and someone says to him, well, why don't you get that fixed? And they had to make up some excuse. Because in the future, why would you need to wear glasses? They should be able to repair all of that. They gave a woman in the 80s a pill and it grew back a kidney. Why can't they fix your eyes perfectly, you know? So there's a lot of that in here as well. That's why you don't lose arms and legs, I guess, because a healing spell will grow it back. I've always felt, though, that any sort of healing magic to grow back limbs was always a bit more involved than just a cure light wounds type of thing. That's always been my sort of take on it. What was that dog leg all about, Arcanus? Like, seriously, there was no need for that. And you're the same. Is there a hidden... Like, that shadow there is the shadow of this rock here. There's not actually a wall there. Right, let's finish this battle off. Very good. I want to do this battle up here with the warg. Let's just quick save. And then I want to go back and get that mission done to the bunch of weirdos down here on the island, and then we might call that a stream, I think, because I got work in the morning. Lawful good, kill you, you're a monster. How am I going to do this? Yeah, I'm going to do it that way. We're just going to go in and hit this guy as hard as we can, because that's going to work the best, I think. Very good. Damn it. I knew that was going to happen. We really need to take out that wolf behind us. Ember, keep up on that main guy, please. God, another one that comes out of hiding. Forgot how many of those there were. Actually, we'll do that too. Good. Very nice. Morn, you're doing a stand-up job there. This is dangerous, I know. Damn it. Falcone. Beautiful. Lindsay, can you get over and heal him, please? Thank you. Ember. Damn it. Yeah, I can sort of understand that one. You know, jumping into a hole to measure the depth, particularly if you can't see the bottom of it. I mean, you throw a burning torch in and see how far it falls before you jump in. Okay, we're going to survive this fight now. We managed to... And we got a level. Very nice. Yeah, very funny. Hey, you can't win them all. No, you don't want point blank shot. You also don't want piranha strike. Combat casting will be good. There's nothing I can take yet as far as criticals go. No, it was precise strike, that skill I was talking about before. Not outflank. Outflank is a different one. Do I take toughness now? That gives me extra hit points. Or do I take... Improved initiative is another good one for Sword Saints, because they get bonuses to initiative as well later. So being able to take that is actually quite good. But I'm not sure I want to do that just yet. Dodge would be useful, I think. Die Hard would be useful. Or combat casting. I think I'm going to take dodge. And we'll take wand wielder. I don't care what I take here. I'm not going to use them. So we'll do that. Just make sure he's got his next spell learnt, which will be another shocking grasp. No, actually we might put a corrosive touch in there. It does a little bit less damage, but that's okay. You can use that on the boss man. And maybe one more. Okay, let's zoom back out. Come up here, loot this. Yeah. I don't know. I like to go with the strengths of the character and help enhance the things that they do. And the two things that the Sword Saint gets in feats along the way is they get a lot of stuff to do with criticals, and they get a couple of things to do with improving their initiative. So if I can improve their initiative even further, you know, having the Sword Saint being able to do things just that little bit earlier in the turn than everybody else may actually come in handy. So we'll see. Guess I can always spend some money and respec him later if it turns out that it is useless. But anyway, I don't know what I get when I do this mission. I don't think I've ever actually done this before. I dealt with the wolf leader. 283 coins. Okay. Let's come around to here. Yeah, let's come to here. Yeah, I mean, if you can attack first, that can be to your advantage. Not always, but you know. He who hesitates is lost. Knights of the Arcane saved. Okay, I'm going to call it a night here, guys. I have to go to work in the morning. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Pathfinder Kingmaker, the Knights of the Arcane, where we're playing a Party of Magi. Thanks, St. Salvius. Thanks for the cheer. Hope to see you again next time, which will hopefully be tomorrow, but we'll see how work goes. It's been pretty busy lately, so I haven't always been getting on overnight, but I do my best. Thanks a lot, and see you next time.